Tabitha with Appalachian Rising again. We're going to do another video tour today. This one is of what was most recently the Flavor-Rich Dairy building. It originally was, if I've got the progression correct, it was Southern Made, then it was Foremost Dairy, then it was a Pet Dairy, and then lastly it was Flavor-Rich Dairy. And it was pretty much Flavor-Rich Dairy as far back as I can remember being in school. They delivered our milk to the local schools here in town. And it seems like I do have vague memories of it possibly being a pet dairy, but it was operational, we think, till about 2011, according to the paperwork that was left inside. We're going to show you guys some of that stuff because they actually have been working on cleaning this building out some already, so there's a lot of things that have already been cleaned up. But it was kind of eerie when you first went in the office when we finally got possession of the building, because it was literally like stuff was just left on the desk. Like people just stood up one day when they were told it wasn't going to be operational anymore and just left. So it's in pretty good shape compared to a lot of our other buildings. So we're going to take you on a tour, and we're going to have a couple more tour videos coming up. We've got one more building to tour, and then we're going to take you back probably on a revisit of the Western Auto Building. Well, I call it the Western Auto Building, but we've been told that it was actually the third of 4 Western Auto Buildings in town. So stay tuned for those. And we're going to try to do things a little differently today because we did read a lot of the feedback. We appreciate everyone who started following along with these videos. When we originally shot the videos, we did them more for local people that we knew would already know. The buildings are not in any state to let people in to see them, but we had a lot, especially a lot of elderly people that are excited that we're working on the buildings, and they wanted to see the state of the buildings. So when we shot the videos, we weren't really expecting for some of the videos to become so popular and to get people literally from all over the world watching these videos. So we appreciate your patience. So we're shooting with a little bit of a wider lens, as you can see today, so hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit more. We're also going to mix in some pictures today so that you can see hopefully the rooms a little bit better. And this building does not have all the holes in the floor that the Peak building and other buildings had that we were trying to navigate around while filming, so it's a little easier to shoot. So shout out to our cameraman for hanging in there, and he's going to give you all hopefully a couple of good tours over the next few weeks of these buildings. So let's go on in and check out the dairy. Okay, so this is the main office when it was the Dairy Distribution Center, and there's quite a little bit of water damage in here, but as you can see, there is some insulation hanging from the ceiling, debris in the floor, but you know, they were literally working in here up until the day they left. If you look around the back side of the door here, there is a whiteboard. Looks like they were writing orders up on, and there is in here quite a bit of water damage in here, but if you look around this corner of this door, it looks like this was maybe like the office bathroom, but you can tell it's kind of the older setup. There's a stoned in, like, not stone, sorry, concrete block in this. What looks like a doorway was here at one point. So this building was modified multiple times over the years. You can see they put some paneling up, and at some point they covered up what looks like a window or a door up in there. We have different pictures from different time periods, and you can see that the front of the building is kind of the same, but what was off to the side, you're breaking my good building. See what I mean? Everything's a trip hazard around here. But these advanced driving traffic safety seminar certificates, the sun has literally bleached the names out on them. Like I said, we're thinking the calendar over there you can see a little bit better, but it says 2011. But they had call numbers here. Somebody was working at this desk. Here was a desk in front of this window section, and these awards were still here when we first came in. This is a Personnel and Vehicle Safety Award from 2009. But just paperwork left behind. These are cash settlement reports and driver safety check reports. We have, looks like here was the order, sheets, cases, pallets, and stuff. These cracked me up. It's been a long time since I saw a printer that used the little feeder strips on the side, but yeah, this calendar, you can see it says 2011. And somebody even ran off and left their glasses here on the edge of the table. So it's literally like they stood up one day and just left. This was a distribution map. And for the most part, this building is not in bad shape, but we are starting to notice that there's been a little bit of vandalism to some of our buildings, and that's kind of disappointing. So if you are local and you have kids, might be a good idea to talk to them about abandoned buildings really aren't worth vandalizing, because that's frustrating to be here and trying to work on fixing up buildings and just have people damaging them. This is the front of the building, and when we show the pictures, you'll see that a lot of this front facade is the same. They built in some, they leveled it out to put a different type roof on it, but it actually had this kind of stair-step look to it before. There was, over the course of the years in pictures, in some you will see like a drive-through area on this side, and then in others there's a solid building here. So this changed over the years a little bit as well. And you can see it from some of the, remnants, like here's some concrete that remains from one of the walls. But when it was a drive-through type bay, it was probably because this was a loading dock. We've got one of the doors open here for you. The concrete has sunk on one side, but there's two of these doors, and these doors rolled up, and we believe that these rooms were probably refrigerated at the time. And anybody that did work at in these buildings over the years, or had family members that did, that can give us information, we would appreciate that, because we have a hard time finding a lot of pictures. There's buildings, pictures sometimes outside, but especially of the inside. So if you worked here or know somebody that worked here, kind of tell us how it was used over the years, because it could have been used multiple ways. But this was probably a refrigerated room, and the reason we say that is because this shelf here actually has a label on the end of it that says white milk. And there's some remaining wiring and pipes and things in here that indicate that this room was probably quite chilled. There are drains in the floor as well of these rooms. So this is another bay. Don't trip over the pipes sticking out there. And as you can see, we've got a lot of peeling paint. Building inspector did say that this was most likely lead-based paint. So we got to have a remediation plan for that. But you can see these windows back here. When we get to the other side, and you can see these windows, this is something that I actually think is pretty cool. The glass in these windows is kind of textured. I don't know how well the camera's going to pick up on that. But it's almost like a honeycomb, waffling shape. I just think they're really neat because they're different. But you can see it's concrete walls kind of down to this brick layer. And even the brick over here has layers of, like a concrete and paint, and that's just literally flaking off now. So, but there are some steel beams in here, concrete floor, so it's a good solid building in a lot of respects. So, and we're going to go around actually to the. It's a bay. I'm not really sure. You can see there's windows here too. But so this would be the one room that we were in, and you can see on the other side, you've got these windows that are largely intact, and same thing with the windows here in this other room. And these are kind of cool. So however we utilize this building, we'd like to kind of keep this industrial look because its brick is in good shape, and there's a lot of aspects of the building that are just kind of in good shape and kind of cool. You can see the steel beams in here, and it's really just almost a rough lumber wood ceiling in this room, which is probably just the roof above. The back end has been modified a couple of times, and when we get around the back you'll see, but there's a power box that comes down through here. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get outside. And at some point they built this in a little bit, it looks like, and put this other garage door. But this building, or this room, is a fairly good size building. John has covered up a couple of things to kind of secure the building. We can keep the bay doors locked. The fire department was using this up until we purchased the building for some excess storage. And so this building was kind of being monitored a little bit more, I think, than some of the others. So this is kind of something cool that John told me to make sure to talk about, and I didn't even know this was here till he told me today. This is actually a manhole cover, which I don't think I can pry open, but there is this section of concrete here that's fallen through, and I'm pretty sure that it probably fell through because these pipes probably originally came up, and I'm not sure exactly to what. But if you look down in here, there is a ladder, and it goes all the way down to it's standing in water, and I can see some oily-based substance down in there too. So I think it's actually reflecting on the camera. But so this is interesting. We don't really know what this was about. So if you worked here or have any knowledge of what this manhole was for, let us know. So now we're going to walk around to the side of the building. And like I said, the structures on the left side of the building changed a couple of times over the years. But we really haven't seen any pictures of the back of the building, so we're not really sure 100%. There is one room upstairs that we'll go up into later, but that one's a little harder to access. But you can see on the end of the building here, on the brick, that there is some outcroppings of a former wall. It was a totally different color than the main part of the building. And you can see there is like a concrete barrier wall here, as well as like a walkway. And somebody just recently set that dumpster there, probably from the town. So we don't really know what all the back end of this building contained or was used for, just from pictures that we've seen or from anybody that we've talked to so far. But one of the things that I think is worth mentioning is down this side of the building, which is actually the next building over as well. There are these electrical boxes, and I live on what was a dairy farm, so what I can tell you that these were, more than likely, is where they backed the milk trucks in, the refrigerated milk trucks in, and plugged them in to cool them. Because there's all these boxes, and then there's these outlets that they would have plugged the trucks in to cool them before loading them up. So, and that is all still here on the wall, so that's kind of interesting to see. So this was, you know, kind of how milk was distributed in Appalachia for years. This was our main dairy here in Appalachia. There were several dairies in the area because, of course, before grocery stores were operated the way that they were, milk distribution happened daily. And as you can see from our first video that we did in the Peak building, we found the milk doors, and actually we found those the first day that I really saw them from the other side, and we realized what they were the day that was the day that we were filming. I'm getting tongue-tied. The day that we were filming the video, and we've had a lot of feedback on those milk doors. So it's just kind of a glimpse into the past of how things were done at one point. Your milk came daily. You didn't go buy it in the gallons. And so over the years, this building played a lot of importance in the town. One of the things that I think is most unique that's still pretty good and intact is the roof on this particular building. And those are a tile. I'm going to say possibly like a clay, but John could probably tell you better. And that type of roof lasts forever, as you can see, because there's very little leaking inside, but we have a lot of concrete and things inside too. So let's go inside and we will show you the second floor room that's on this building. There is a really steep metal staircase, and that comes up to this second floor. And this is kind of a cool room. We're not 100% sure again of what it was used for. A couple things to point out is it does have drainage, so I'm thinking that maybe they did store milk up here, possibly even. But there is this kind of caged area, and they have done a lot of cleaning on this floor. So when we originally came in here, there was a lot of paperwork stored in here and some different things just kind of left behind. But we're not really 100% sure. It's got chicken wire kind of on it and some screen on it in the parts that remain. So again though, a lot of concrete that was put over the brick. The brick is still in really good shape. And what I will say is, if you couldn't tell from how frizzy my hair is today, it is very humid today. It's very warm, but inside the building here, it's actually pretty tolerable. It's so much cooler in here because it seems to be pretty well insulated with the concrete. So this upstairs area also has windows similar to what are downstairs. They're a little shorter. We've got one pane broken out there, but these windows are now covered up with like a plywood. So we're not 100% sure when that modification happened and haven't really gotten the chance to inspect on the other side and figure out what all's going on over there. But so this is something we're working on, trying to get down again to the bare bones so we can figure out what's going to be the future use for this building. So that's the tour of the dairy building. Thank you so much for joining us again, and keep an eye out for more content over the next several weeks. We have some good news coming and hopefully some announcements soon about businesses and other developments. So make sure that you like and subscribe to our channels, and you can follow us for more information at AppalachianRisingVentures.com. Thank you.